Hello, everyone. Hi, Loubna.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. I'm good. So today we are here again with our live show, and it is a Friday lunch and learn with Yvonne and Loubna, and we are executive career coaches. And every Friday we go live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Wisdom app, and we are here to talk to career professionals about what are we talking about today? How a SWOT analysis can help you in your career. SWOT analysis, how it helps you in your career. So if you're here today, I'm going to turn on the comments here so that I can see everybody. So if you're here live, if you could just put that you're here live. And if you're watching on the replay, when this goes on replay, you can say you're watching on the replay. So Loubna and I are going to, I know I have some persons here on Wisdom app that are listening. People have started listening on Wisdom. So if you're live on the YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook, you can just interact with us. So if you don't know me, I am Yvonne Robinson. I help ambitious career professionals get hired, get promoted, and earn higher salaries by learning how to negotiate and communicate their message with confidence. And I'm going to ask Loubna to introduce herself.
Hello, hello. I'm Loubna Erraji. I'm an executive coach and I work with high achievers in multiple industries who are in career transition and thinking about getting promoted, getting pay raises, and those who are really focused on advancing their career to the next level and lead their teams with more power. So yeah, we're happy to be here and share with you tips about career advancement.
And we have
Robert.
some of our LinkedIn friends here. Robert, we have Alison, and we have Dr. Robert too. Wow. So we have a lot of people here to share with us. And what we'd like to know, Loubna, so what is SWOT analysis? What's that?
So the same way we do SWOT analysis for marketing products, we get to do it at the personal level. We need to analyze our strengths, our weaknesses, and I usually like to refer to weaknesses as areas for improvement. Then we explore the opportunities and the threats, and we will go in details into all of those sections.
Yes. Because for those who are running a company, and I have some of our listeners here have run companies and they have their companies. So I just like you to take a pen and paper out if you have never done this before. You know what? Sometimes we hear of these concepts and we never actually do them for ourselves, right? So it's very important that if you can grab a pen and paper right now for this little time that we are going to be together and just do the exercise for yourself. Divide a piece of paper into 4 areas, quadrants: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, the way businesses work, they look internal, then they analyze external. So this is kind of a strategic thing. And because I always say to everybody, your career is a business. And if you look at your career from that standpoint, we will see that it is very important also, if you're going to consider your career as a business and every aspect of it, to do your strengths and the weaknesses, because sometimes you think you're strong in an area and you find when you start doing this, you see, I'm not so strong in here. And I might have to do another second type of analysis, which we're not going to go into today, called a gap analysis, so that we know how to fill in the gaps. But today we are going to stick to the topic. We are going to just stay with SWOT. So what are our strengths? So we have to think about that and how this is going to improve the career professional, because it's going to improve your promotion abilities, and it is also going to improve your abilities when you start looking for a job, because you know the famous questions, you know, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses when you are looking for a job? Those are two of the big questions. And I used to think I don't have any weaknesses. Then I come to realize, wow, I do have some weaknesses and how I'm going to deal with that. So as a career professional, Dr. Loubna, when you're looking at your strengths, what are some of the things that you want to tell career professionals, you know, and even business, as a business person, you have to know your strengths. How do you go about identifying your strengths?
Yes, so you want to look at everything you have achieved in the past, both at the professional and also at the personal level. So at the professional level, it will be things like your credentials, your years of experience, your degrees, the different certifications you have acquired, and then also look at some transferable skills, right? Sometimes people are switching industries and they think that they have to stay stuck in specific industry because they don't have the exact skills that are required. But there are ways to look at your strengths, right? And look at everything you have achieved. And there are ways of highlighting all of those strengths, okay? So the other strengths are can be personal characteristics. Okay, for example, self-discipline, strong work ethic, ability to work under pressure. I mean, usually I don't recommend that people start highlighting all those things, but demonstrate those traits in a section where they describe their achievements, right? You don't want to be saying, "Oh, I'm super well organized. I am people's person. I am great with this," but describe what you have done. Describe the projects using, you know what we described last time, Yvonne, using the STAR method, or you have another method. I don't remember what it's called, but
PAR,
the
problem, action, results, the methods
yes.
that you
So
have used. Yes.
the PAR, yeah, the PAR or the STAR. You describe the situation, the tasks that you were asked to focus on, the actions you took, and the results. Okay, and the
Wonderful.
best way to describe your strengths is to focus on the outcomes and focus on the results and show people everything you're bringing to the table.
All right. I want to add a little bit more, and I just want to highlight some persons. And friends, if you would like to put some information in the chat there, and let us know if you have any other ideas to add to this. But I do have a lovely idea that a lot of people don't talk about. Now, because many people can say, okay, I have all these credentials and I have all these achievements, and some of them are similar, especially even for business people. And I know I'm on the Wisdom app right now, and I know a lot of business people do listen to these things. There are certain things that everybody has, but your delivery, you deliver differently than everybody else. And that is based upon your experience, and that is based upon your perception of things. I have been doing a couple posts recently about how to change the way you see things and your perception of things. And Dr. Loubna did talk about some of those transferable skills that you have that you think you can bring to the table. But when you think about it, if you have two candidates in front of you and they have the degrees from the same university, they studied, they did the same skills, they even worked side by side on the same job, but their delivery is different. And what makes that delivery different is because of their personal attitude, is the way they see things. So when you go for a job, basically your resume is going to show those core skills. But when you actually go into the interview, you are going to show your attitude and your other things that you cannot show in a resume. I see a lot of things on LinkedIn where they say, oh, hire for attitude, don't hire for skills. And I'm saying, how are you going to know the person's attitude? You never met them before. So it's in the interview, the attitude, and all those personal, I call them personal skills. So I divide skills into core skills, some transferable skills, and personal skills. The personal skills are the skills that is the cream on the coffee. Don't you think? Don't you think, Dr. Loubna?
Yes, yes, and I would say it's a combination of both. We cannot have one without the other, right? You need to have the hard skills. That's the first requirement, okay? Those are the basic requirements on the job description. And you need to have the soft skills, okay? Soft skills. How do you connect to people? How do you manage projects? How do you inspire people in your team, right? And all those skills are things that you are going to acquire along your positions, along your experiences, and people will have a better sense when they meet you. Yet you want to give them a sense of who you are, even through your resume, right? And we talked about that the other time. And it's very important to structure your resume in a way that it shows your strengths and highlights all of your strengths into a very strong value proposition that shows what you can do, your years of experience, and everything you're bringing to the table. And to your point, Yvonne, it's about highlighting that a competitive or comparative advantage amongst all the candidates that have applied to the selection.
Exactly. Because a lot of people, and the reason why I bring this back to LinkedIn a lot, LinkedIn is a platform where most job seekers are. And I see a lot of things being written on LinkedIn. And I would love for all the job seekers who are reading those things to say, to listen to this, because when people go around and say hire for attitude, don't hire for skill. I mean, hire for attitude, skills will come. Yes, we do know that some skills can be taught. And we know that attitude is inherent. But for a job seeker looking for a job, we can't mislead them. We have to let them know that you're going to be successful if you marry the two. And you did say that. You say you can't have one without the other. And the more of the personal soft skills, management skills that you have will help you to get the position. Because as executive coaches, we know that most persons that we work with are either looking to advance in their career, grow their career, and most people we work with, if they were not managers before, by the time we're done with them, they become managers because they are up leveling. They're getting to the next level and to the next level. And what is going to make you get to the next level? Your personal skills, the skills that management that you have that the other people don't have, how you deliver, how you treat the people at work, how you communicate, how you inspire. If you are negative and if you're always complaining, trust me, management is not going to give you the opportunity to get to the next level, because you have to be inspiring. Are you inspiring as somebody who wants to be a leader? Are you the person who complains all the time and never have a solution to anything? Those are the things. Are you the person who is always just looking in the past? Are you the person who always hard to change because, things are changing? They're going from Web 2 to Web 3. The people are talking about metaverse. Are you learning about those things to see when that stuff hits your organization, how you are going to change, how you're going to be able to communicate that to the rest of people? So we speak to a lot, as I say, to a lot of high-level career professionals, but we also speak to everybody because everybody wants to improve and upgrade their career at some point. So everybody, so we're talking to people who are ambitious. Honestly, if you're not ambitious, it's kind of hard for me, because if you're not ambitious, that's another skill that you have to learn, and that's somebody else's job, because
Yes.
I'm not Tony Robbins, right? Or some of those coaches who do that kind of coaching. Some people need that. Some people need to be worked up, to be, to be on the happy side. I'm on
Motivated.
the happy side too, and the confident side. But some people just need that part of the personal development
Yes.
that somebody else can give. But we are telling you that you need to have an attitude change when you are looking to be promoted, or when you are looking for a new job. And that is how I see. And one more thing I wanted to say before I turn over to Dr. Loubna is, when you're thinking about your strengths, ask your friends, ask people, what do people say when I'm not in the room? That is eye-opening. I asked, I was coaching a young lady the other day, and we were going through her skills and abilities. And I said to her, what do you think people say when you're not in the room? She said they would say I'm negative. So we started working on that, because we start talking about the reasons why you have to change, so that people can see you differently, because when you are negative, you are not inspiring. And the thing about that is, because some of us from certain parts of the world, the way we grew up, and the way our parents, some parents talk to us, and the way the environment is, we learn to be negative. And by the time we come to, say, Canada, or in more, well, I grew up in Jamaica, right? Most Jamaicans are negative.
We have the sun there. It's sunny. It's great.
By the time you get into this part of the world,
Yeah.
and you start seeing different people and bigger cities, and you're interacting with more people, you know that the way you look at things have to change, and you have to do the work on yourself. What do you say about Dr. Loubna? You're good about doing the work on yourself.
So, yes, these are great points you just brought up, Yvonne. You just brought up all the negative personal characteristics to look at when we're looking at the weaknesses, right? The negative attitude, the negative mindset, the lack of motivation, the indecisiveness. So these are all weaknesses that we need to be aware of. And like you said, try to find out what people are saying behind your back, because you cannot keep growing if you don't have the internal support, right? And you don't have advocates to support you and advocate for you. So yes, I totally agree with you. So yes, so when we're looking at the weaknesses can be also like gaps in the work experience, lack of specific technical skills that you don't have, lack of training. And like you said, Yvonne, that's where we perform a gap analysis and we try to see what needs to be adjusted, right? And those things can be going on a regular basis. You don't want to think about your weaknesses just when you're going for a job interview. It's a little bit too late, right? Start thinking about your career and having a more proactive approach and preparing for those interviews that will come your way, preparing for those promotions that will be available, right? And you want to be thinking and having a proactive approach. Yeah.
So that's why I turned up the volume here, so that to make sure that they can hear you, because sometimes I think you're a little bit quiet there. And Dr. Loubna, your voice is very nice and sweet.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, that's great. So, it's very important. Everybody who is listening to me right now, do a little bit of survey of your friends, and whether you're a business person or whether you're a career professional. And as I say, a career is a business. Because if you did not have a career, my friend, you're going to have to go out there and fight it out and see if you can find some business so you can pay those bills, okay? And if you're a business that is struggling, you might need to go back and start working for somebody to earn some of those money so that you can go pump it into the business. Because life is not easy. A lot of people have businesses that are struggling and solopreneurs and all that and can't make it. Sometimes you have to go and take on a little extra something or diversify a little bit so you can earn the money to grow the business, right? Because this is serious stuff. You got to pay the bills, you got to pay the mortgage and all that, right? So I'm just saying, what you do, you need to ask your friends, ask somebody, ask other people. Say to them, say even your husband, maybe not the best person, or your wife, because but say
look
to
at
them,
the mirror. Look at the
look
mirror.
in the mirror. Say to them, what do people say about me? And the best people to ask are maybe your people at work. You probably won't like it, but it might be one of the best things that you can do. If you want to know the personal part of it, the personal skills that you need to up level in your career, you have to ask somebody who know you, who work with you, who know you. What do people say when I'm not around? If you're in a group thing going on, when you walk away, what do you think people might say about me when I'm not in the room, right? So you can fix those. What people always say about you, and more than one or two or three people say the same thing that you do not like. So those can help you to pick up some of those strengths and weaknesses that you have. So I would say, as Dr. Loubna said, there are the hard skills, strengths, and they are the soft strengths, right? And they're the hard skills are like your achievements and all that. I don't have to go back over that. She already said it. And your soft skills are, the personal skills, the skills that that help you to motivate others and motivate yourself. The skills that help you to get up in the morning and jump to work and feel like you would lift up the building, right? Rather than when you walk into a room, everybody's what you call it? Everybody just, what you call it? It goes down. Like when you ever in a room and somebody walk into the room and you're like, wah, 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 wah.
They feel the negative energy. They don't want to connect with you.
You ever go into a building? Are you ever going to a meeting? Anybody here listening to me? Ever going to a meeting? And or somebody walks in the meeting and everybody is just like, it's just cold and everybody just feel like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that position.
I don't want to be here right now. I just don't want to be here right now. I'm in one clubhouse these days, and when I'm into some of those big rooms, some people come on stage and I'm like, oh my goodness, do I have to go through this? Right? And then some people come on stage and you're so fired up, they're so inspiring. You want to hear more, you want to follow them. So yes, strengths and weaknesses.
So let's move to the opportunities and threats.
Dr. Loubna, can you start out with the opportunities and threats then? How do you find out the opportunities that are out there?
So let's give examples of opportunities and how to look at them. So the opportunities and threats are usually external factors, right? We talked about the internal factors that relate mainly to you and who you are. Opportunities and threats are mainly what happens at the external level. So positive external conditions that you do not control, all right, but you can take advantage of. For example, if there is a position that describes exactly who you are and what the job responsibilities are, that match exactly what you're bringing to the table, and you want to emphasize on those opportunities. You can also emphasize on opportunities that are happening in specific industry trends, right? For example, there are a lot of positions now that are available and that are remote. So these are great opportunities. There are also some opportunities in terms of enhancing what you bring into the table by getting more certifications or getting additional training. What else? all the opportunities for growth and learning and advancement in your specific field. So these are all opportunities. Yeah.
Right. And I would like to add to that trends. When you are in a job or you're working in an organization, especially very young career professionals, look at trends. Now, there is something that I was very, very nervous about. And I'm going to talk about it here, but I'm not into the space, but cryptocurrency. It has been around for a little while now, and now everything is going on in the world. When you're a career professional, you are also to look at what is going on in the world. There's a war going on. What's going on with the war, right? What is going to happen after COVID? What happened? What changed after COVID? What is going to change after this war? Did you know? Are you looking into the metaverse? What's going to happen there? Are people going to start? Are their banks? Their I think it was was it JP Morgan? I don't want to call any real bank name right now, but I did read something recently. There was one of the big banks that was talking about how big NFTs and stuff is going to be. Yeah. So there are jobs in those areas. I was in a Clubhouse room one morning and they were talking about jobs in NFTs and jobs in the metaverse. So are you just sitting back and waiting? This week I was kind of doing little posts about, or even things about, are you a laggard or are you an innovator, because I kind of had those things on my mind. When you're a career professional, you have to look at not only what you have, right? And just the traditional things, but you have to look at what is going on in the world. Don't sit back and say, oh, it is going on in Ukraine. It doesn't matter to me because it's not on my doorstep. You have to think about, what's going to happen. Are people going to start thinking, okay, since they can freeze my money, then maybe maybe people are going to start thinking of having money in cryptocurrency, or, you just have to open up your thinking so that when those things come and when you're discussing within your organization, you can discuss intelligently, right? Yes. So, and another thing that I was going to talk about, that I forgot to talk about was your communication skills. How are you going to communicate all these things to the people in your organization as a leader if you don't understand them yourself, right? So there's a lot of things. This is a good little thing we have going on here every Friday between me and Dr. Loubna, because we come on to stay for half an hour. Sometimes we stay for an hour because we just like to feed you with all this information. And if you're not online right now, you can go back and watch it. Right? Mm-hmm. But you have to start considering what is going on in technology, what is going on in the world, and how that will eventually affect you. It might not affect you today, but it could affect you next year. And that's what I want to say about that. I don't know if you have anything to add, Doctor.
Yes, I love that. I love that, Yvonne, because it's about keeping a growth mindset and keeping an open outlook to everything that's happening around us, right? You cannot just sit and stay in your little bubble and don't take into account what's happening around you, right? Because these are the differentiators that might support you and get promoted earlier than other people, or get promoted amongst a group of competitors, or get selected because you are more educated in the trends that are happening around you, right? So when you go to interviews, you also want to have some smart and intellectual discussions. It's not just about the job, but it's about how you package yourself, Yes. And the reason you want to do the SWOT analysis is to help you look at yourself and how you package yourself, right? It's going to help you take care of those things that might hinder your evolution, your advancement, and your hiring. And you think about them before they even come up during the interview, right? So
Awesome. This SWOT analysis, you said a lot of key things. I'm listening to you there. You said a lot of key things. for example, let me just say what you just said a while ago. It is, you're doing it before, you're preparing, so that when you get into these spaces, you know it comes up, you are prepared, right? And you did say something about, oh my gosh, I should have been writing while you were talking, because there were some, couple of nuggets that you dropped there. And I just wanted to add, which is going to be in alignment with what you're saying. How do you want to be paid the highest in the organization? Why do you want to up level your pay? If you just keep doing the same thing that everybody is doing, trust me, nobody's going to pay you big money for that, because anybody can do that, right? People say, okay, just hire me for my attitude and everything. Well, that's good too, but you're going to have some of those skills. And Doctor, yes, you did say something about the education and all that, and it just came to me that education and information doesn't have to mean going to Harvard or going to a big university, right? It can mean that you learn. You can learn in many different ways and know the information. There are a lot of people who are big, rich people or billionaires in this world who, some of them never even go to university, right? Yes. So your university, you can create your own university, some formal education and some informal education, because information coming to you doesn't have to be formal. And that is because when you go out there, no matter how much education you have, if you can communicate it to anybody, it might as well, it might as well, that sounds like a Jamaican terminology, might as well you never have the education, because you cannot communicate the information that you have. What do you say about that, Doctor?
Yes, I totally align with what you're saying. And what I've been seeing is that most people, especially in the business world, and I'm sure you heard that, in business school, you need to be reading on a daily basis things like, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and reading some books, in your area, but also outside of your area. You don't want to be just focused on one thing. And again, I'm going to say it, you're in your little bubble, you don't know what's happening out there. And that could be a threat, right? Exactly. Speaking of threats, right? If you don't know what the competition is doing, if you're not aware about how you stand compared to other applicants, right? How you stand within your own company. So just to give an example, I know I work with people in financial services, and I know that at some point when they reach a certain management level, competition is fierce, really fierce. So you don't want to wait until you get to the, director level or VP level to start thinking about how to position yourself for growth. But you get to prepare for it way before, okay? And that's a big threat. It's a big threat. It's within the company, but it's also what I would call a negative external condition that you cannot control. And what you can control is how you respond to it and how you prepare for your success.
Awesome. I like that. The threats that you that face you are negative external conditions. Listen, there's a thing that say, you can't worry about the things that you cannot change. We cannot worry about those things. What we need to do is to see how we know about them and be able to thwart them. And external threats, I'm going to just give a quick live example or relatable example of an external threat to persons such as, for example, if I was in the web design business. If you're in web design business and people email me a lot on LinkedIn, they message me, oh, I'm a web designer, I can do your logo, I can do this. Why would I want you to do my logo when I can use Canva? If I don't really need a fancy logo, I have Canva and I have a lot of things to do. Or if I want to create a banner, can I create your banner for you? I like my banner. I like how it is. And stuff like that. I can create my own darn banner. Okay.
Canva, yeah.
if you, because there's so, technology has come to the ordinary man. The ordinary man can do a lot of things with technology. I didn't even know I could make my own movies. I used to sit down and watch movies when I was younger. Now I can make my own movies. I can create it with iMovie. Come on, right? I can get
Yes.
stock images and I can see things moving. I never know that you could. I can even interject, put myself into certain positions, and going to Canva or wherever and get stock images and moving water. Moving water and talk. If I have a nice, sexy voice, I can talk and create some inspirational stuff throw up on YouTube. Listen, my thing is, if you are a web developer, you have to make sure that you are in tune with the threat of the technology against your web development skills, because you need to up level your skill and be able to do more than just making me a logo.
Yes, so that's one of the biggest threats actually that professionals can face, and it's competitors with better job hunting skills and competitors with superior skills and experience, right? If the company is asking for a certain list of responsibilities and qualifications, you want to go above and beyond. Okay, once you check everything, you want to go above and beyond and provide them with that extra little nugget that differentiates you. Why should they hire you and not the other 100 applicants? So these are things you want to keep in mind. Okay, you do your SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, you look at the opportunities and you identify all the threats, okay, all the obstacles that might be in your way, but and keep a positive mindset. It's not because you don't have all the skills that you cannot be called for an interview. You need to use everything to your advantage and tweak the language and position yourself the best way you can.
So what we're trying to tell persons here who are listening, not only if you're a job seeker, but if you're also a business person, doing a personal SWOT analysis can help you in your career and business. You have to sit down, map out those strengths, whether it's for your business or your career, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and also never forget the threats, because that is when you're going to know what to up level, what to take care of, how those threats, things are coming against you. As with your competitor in the job market, you have a competitor in the office. Guys, I used to see my competitors in my very office, right? Because some of those competitors are fierce. They will even come for your job. So you have to be somebody in your organization could be looking at your job right now, especially if you're in a higher position, because somebody below you too could be looking at your job. So are you looking to up level to a higher position? Are you looking to up level out of the organization because there's no room for growth? You still need to do a personal SWOT analysis.
Yes, Yvonne, and you just reminded me of something. One of the threats could be a company going through a merger and acquisition, a company downsizing. So you constantly need to be proactive. You cannot just sit on your laurels and just expect that you're going to have that position forever. Every year or maybe every 6 months, you want to do some type of review and analysis, okay? You want to see where you are and you want to do that SWOT analysis over and over, right? And look at the opportunities and look at the threats, because maybe the strengths and weaknesses, I mean, they will not change very quickly because you will adjust, but the opportunities and threats, you want to be watching them with the magnifying lens, okay, constantly, so that you're taking a proactive approach, like we said earlier.
Awesome. Because you know what? When you just said that, how often, when you were saying you should do them every year, yes. You know, in between Christmas and New Year, I used to do a lot of analysis. Whether it is my money, I love money, so I always do my money analysis at that time of the year when everybody else is maybe having, that time between Christmas and New Year. And I always look at my position and my job and everything. But what I'm finding now, because everything is changing so fast in IT and technology, and now we have wars and all that, I think a 6 month, as you said, the threats and the opportunities, you might have to, speed up on that one or do them faster than you used to do them, maybe every 6 months, I would think. What do you think? Maybe every 6 months.
Yes, yes. And Yvonne, one of the things I've been hearing over and over from some other experts and mainly business owners and some other coaches out there is that things are changing fast, really fast. And now in 2022, watch out for everything. Okay. So yeah, maybe it could be doing this analysis on a quarterly basis.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like we don't mean to scare you or anything.
No, we're not scaring them. We're just saying
that being proactive rather than reactive.
Yes. So, when we're not here to scare anybody.
No, I know, but it's better to be aware of the market trends, like we said earlier.
Exactly, be aware of the market trends. What we do every Friday, career professionals, ambitious career professionals, we come on here just to give you some of our wisdom. Some of the things, Loubna and I have been in high positions in organization, right? Loubna was very high in her organization. You can probably tell her what you achieved, the highest you achieved. I was senior director of recruiting, sales and proposals in my organization. And I've career pivoted quite a number of times. I did my analysis. I know where I was going. And Dr. Loubna, too, has reached high levels in her organization. So when we come on here, we come here, for a quick Friday lunch and learn to give you some ideas because we know you need it. And most of you are young and want to reach high levels in your organization already. I didn't start running my own business until I retired because I had a golden handcuff. They were paying me so much good money, I couldn't leave that place. So I had to retire in order to start my business. Some people start their business earlier, but we are here to help you. So if you want to reach out to Loubna, if you don't have anything, do you have more to say on that? Or
no, I think we covered multiple things. And if anyone has questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, right? And if we didn't cover things you were focusing on, feel free to send us a message. Okay, whether you put the message here or you send us direct message to Yvonne or to me, we'll be happy to get back to you.
Yeah, so we are all about up-leveling your career, growing your career, earning good money, earning big money. All the people who we work with, they moved up their dollars. Yes. They're all working 6 figures and more. Some of them were making under 50 grand. Now they're making over 100,000. So we know how to get you there. And as Dr. Loubna said, you can always find her on LinkedIn and on her website. If you could stay when we run the little the music at the end, you will see the name of her website, and I can also highlight it here, right? Dr. Loubna's website right there, so you can go there and you can check out her freebies and all the things that she has to offer and services, and you get a lot of good free information on our websites too, and my website there. Okay, goalinspiredcareercoaching.com. That's my website. And Dr. Loubna is Advances, ADVANCIS consulting.com. So you can always find, and you can find us here every Friday. And I'm on YouTube, Goal Inspired Career Coaching. And I am on LinkedIn, Yvonne Robinson Jackson. And Dr. Loubna is on LinkedIn also. You find us. Ask us questions, guys. We are here to help you. We want you to up-level in your career and be the best that you can be. Do you have any more words for our team? Put some notes in the chat, and even after we're done, we will respond to each one of them, even after the live stream closes.
So we hope this was helpful. And again, when you're doing your SWOT, Think about yourself like a product. Think about yourself like a business. Think about yourself as you're packaging something and putting it out there. So that's my last word.
All right. And we were going to go out with our little bit of reggae music again, guys. And we'll see you next week, same time at 12:30. Come on, Everett. Ask your friends. I know we have quite a number of people listening here and all that. So invite your friends. All right. So see you guys next week. We are going to end our